Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Yeah, if I was on the ball, I would have had all this done.
It's okay.
Rosemary's Baby. I've had a couple of those.
Rosemary babies?
Yeah. Children of Satan.
Jiminy Crickets.
All right. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. This is pre-recorded because obviously we cannot watch a preview, a trailer, and then come back in a minute and have watched it and make a review. So this makes sense. Don't be dumb. What do you remember about Rosemary's Baby, 1968?
I am not even going to lie to you. I think this movie traumatized me because I get flashes of it when I think of this movie, but I can't describe it to you. Do you know what I mean? I know what happens in it, but if you want me to describe the actual movie, like the visuals of it, I'm like, I get flashes, but basically Mia Farrow gives birth to the devil's baby.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot either. And this is my pick.
Yeah.
And something about, I don't know what it is. And this was done in 1968. And from this time, like The Omen, 76, The Wicker Man, 73, Carrie, 76, Psycho, 1960.
Yes.
Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, sometime in the 60s. The Exorcist, 1973.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, friggin' Black Christmas, 1974. Something about, and The Shining, 1980. Something about these older movies is inherently more creepier. I don't know why.
100%.
Than today's movies.
I agree with you. I don't know if it was just a different generation of filmmaking. If they all attended the same seminar, I don't know what it is, but it's like they all know just how to creep you out.
Yeah.
Like just make you so uncomfortable within yourself that the movie ends up just fucking you up.
Yep. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, and I don't, like you, I don't remember a ton about this movie other than that it was for some reason creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the poster. It's pretty generic, I think. It's up in the corner there, but let's take a closer look at it. Actually, kind of a clever picture. Just Rosemary's Baby, her head laying down, and then on this rock, there's a little, what is that called? The thing, the carriage, baby carriage, with the lights coming out. It's kind of, it's kind of unsettling, actually.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
All right. Rosemary Baby's budget. I do not know a lot about the budgets of the 1960s.
I feel like it was big for the 1960s.
3.2 million.
That's that big for the 1960s.
Yeah, 1960s. Yeah. And it's Mia Farrow, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to have any box office.
No, they don't usually have a lot of box office from that time, unless like somebody's done a specific story about it.
Yeah.
You don't really hear it.
It's trying to find that. Well, worldwide, it's saying that it made it a little over 33 million.
That's impressive.
That's pretty good.
That's very good.
Yeah, over 3-4. Yeah, and received acclaim from critics. Yes, I know that. I'm pretty sure the critics' reviews are pretty high.
Hmm.
Yeah, $3 million. You made $30 million on top of that,
Yeah.
and I don't know. We talk about, well, in the 80s and early 90s, the marketing was big, but nowhere near what it is today. I can only imagine in the 60s, a lot of word of mouth.
A lot of word of mouth, but you also
Posters played a big deal.
posters were a big deal. Not trailers the way they were in the 60s, which was not the same as they are now in the theaters.
Yeah.
So you had to make sure you paid to get your trailer on the right movies. If you weren't picking a very popular movie to get your trailer in front of, not enough people were seeing your trailer.
Yeah.
And then, of course, late night shows for guests and things like that, television spots.
Would they have a lot of in the 60s and 70s? Did they have a lot of?
I think Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
Oh God, who else? Wait.
Well, and it was directed by Roman Polanski.
Yeah, in the 1960s, late night television shows included the Jack Parr Show, the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, the Joey Bishop Show, the Ed Sullivan Show, and the Mike Douglas Show, although not strictly late night, or very popular variety shows.
Mm.
So there were quite a few.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah, they love their variety too. They love their variety
Yeah.
shows. Yeah. Yes, it was Roman Polanski. That was a guy that had to move back to France because he was wanted here for.
He had to escape to France. I think he's actually been convicted.
Yeah,
of
but
raping a 13-year-old.
He does not come over here.
No, he never comes over here.
No. Yeah, even when he
giving him awards.
Yeah, giving him awards. Now, that set aside, he has made, oh my God, some very good movies. One of my favorites, Chinatown.
Yeah.
And he made The Tenant and Frantic and Pirates and The Ninth Gate. And yeah, so he is a talented director. He also was married to who is that actress that got killed by Charles Manson, or Charles Manson's
Sharon
family?
Tate.
Sharon Tate. Yeah. So yeah, interesting fellow. It stars Mia Farrow, who's been in a lot.
Yes.
John Cassavetes, Ruth Gordon. I don't know a lot of these people, but I do know their faces.
Yeah, these are people like Charles Grodin.
Charles Grodin's
his
in it.
Face.
Yeah.
Alicia Cook Jr. You know his face. There were quite a few. Hope Summers. I'm like, I've seen your face before. These are very much notable faces. Phil Leeds. We know his face.
Okay, so I think the reviews are going to be very good on this movie because I remember
Yes.
This is very highly talked about. And there we go.
Yeah.
87 reviews, comes in at 97. So one person, I'm guessing, did not like it. Over 50,000 popcorn meter viewings, 87%. So this movie's very well received. This is my pick, so I will pick the good ones, and you can try to find the bad one. Let me start while you look for it. A masterpiece in slow burn, paranoia, and tension. One of the best psychological horror films ever. 4.5 out of 5. Vico Cangiano, Cine Express podcast. This full review is in Spanish. Found it yet?
2 bad ones.
Okay.
Thank you. There might be more, like one more. But here's one. Does Polanski have to show us Satan walking around like some RKO matinee monster in a corny dream sequence right out of Juliet of the Spurts? That's from Gene Youngblood from the Los Angeles Free Press.
Rosemary's Baby is a masterful portrayal of slow burn horror, skillfully intertwining terror and thought-provoking social commentary. Preston Barda, Denton Record Chronicle. No actual score. They just liked it.
Yeah. The fault ultimately is in the Polanski screenplay, which overlooks character for effect. disastrously. Involvement is absent. All is surface, and it is a smooth one, without the shimmer of the evil that is within. That's from Judith Christ, New York Magazine, and Vulture, and there's no specific rating.
It's pure psychological horror at its best, elegant in a way that's rarely seen now as the anticipation of what's to come and the walls of security and certainty begin to fall around Rosemary. Christy Strauss, wonderfully weird and horrifying. Are you done?
No, hold on.
Oh, okay, you got another one?
I'm gonna load them all. I'm looking to see if there's oh, I found one. The movie, although it is pleasant, doesn't seem to work on any of its dark or powerful terms. That's from Renata Adler from the New York Times.
Roman Polanski somehow brought his brand of paranoid horror to the Hollywood mainstream with rousing success. Jeffrey M. Anderson, Combustible Celluloid. Variety staff, which usually just shits on everything.
Yeah.
Several exhilarating milestones are achieved in Rosemary's Baby, an excellent film version of Ira Levin's diabolical chiller novel. That's Variety staff. And I'll end with, well, flawlessly constructed slow burn horror town, Scott Weinberg, e-film critic, and Roger Ebert. It is a creepy film and a crawly film, and a film filled with things that go bump in the night. It is very good. 4 out of 4, Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times.
Damn, Roger Ebert.
So let's go to IMDb, the voice of reason, because every idiot posts a review. I haven't yet, but I will.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised.
Rosemary's Baby. Let's see what they say. Wow, over 248,000 reviews, comes in at 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty high for that many.
It is.
Okay, I will start with 10.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of reviews, so we can take our time. Although all the 10s are pretty much the same. So here we go. Psychological horror at its very best. R. Wiggum, 10 out of 10.
The Turbulent Tale of a Horror Pregnancy with the Devil's Child. Adam Garrity, 51989, 9 out of 10.
Oh, I like this one. An atmosphere like no other. Rockwell Cronenberg, 8 out of 10.
And the award for worst pregnancy ever goes to, opening the envelope, Hunt and Peck, 80, 7 out of 10.
Seems tame today, but still delivers some chills. Dolly Lemp, 6 out of 10. Yes, it was done in 1968.
Yeah.
So it's not going to it's not going to be like fucking Hereditary or Barbarian.
It's not a horror movie. That's from Blanco Ever, 161, 5 out of 10.
Great atmosphere and some chilling imagery, but I just didn't find the story all that involving. Jimbo, prison number 531865111, 4 out of 10.
All that build up to an unsatisfactory ending. Vishal Subhash, 3 out of 10.
This is not the one I'm using, but I'm probably the only one who doesn't understand this movie at all. Highly overrated and too long. Smells like cheese, 2 out of 10. Haven't heard from Smells Like Cheese for a bit.
Oh, Jesus. This one's very clear. Boredom, overrated. Everything is spelled out. Crappy story and direction. Overlong film. Garbage ending, middle, and beginning. Cult film. Baba Booey? 1 out of 10.
All right. Okay. So yeah, we both admit that I have seen I seen it more than once. I know I have seen it and I know I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember. I do you remember me talking about a movie called Terror in the Isles? It's just this kind of documentary where they talk about all the different horror shows. And I've seen that documentary quite a few times, and they use Rosemary's Baby quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that more than the actual full length movie. But I do remember liking it, and I do remember it kind of being creepy. And
I also remember liking it. I remember thinking it was a great movie.
Yeah.
And being creeped out by it, and it left me feeling like with crawly skin. You know what I mean? Like that feeling where you're just like, oh, just want to. But then I never watched it again. And I think
Yeah.
it's mostly just because I'm traumatized. That's what I think happens.
Okay, who's did this? Yeah, we'll use this one. Okay, let's watch the trailer and then make a prediction on whether or not we are going to like it.
Hey,
I don't think this
let's
is a
make
trailer.
love.
I don't think that's a trailer.
I don't think that's a trailer either.
I think that's a clip.
I
Hold
think they're about to have some sexy times.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
That feels like a trailer.
Here we go.
Building is gorgeous.
Do you have children?
We planned it. Oh, it's a wonderful apartment. I love
See
it.
what she's trying to do? She's trying to get you to lower the rent.
Oh, please, let's take it. Are you pregnant? No, not yet.
No, you're not religious, my dear, are you?
You know how actors are. They're all a bit self-centered. I dreamed someone was raping. We have to make a baby. Dr. Hill?
Congratulations.
You're pregnant.
Now to a fine, healthy baby. Here, here.
Yeah.
I have a pain. Here.
Pregnant women gain weight, they don't lose it.
Pain like that is a warning that something isn't right.
It's alive!
We're your friends, Rosemary.
You witches! Go to hell! I'll kill them before I let them touch you. Somebody help me! What have you done to him, you maniac?
Pray for Rosemary's Baby.
I'm already feeling very uncomfortable. But also, I thought Mia Farrow was American, and then I just looked her up and I was like, oh, she is American. Where did that accent come from?
Yeah.
That's a weird accent. But anyways,
And we did not hear some taglines. It's not what you're expecting.
okay.
Conceived in terror, born in fear.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one. The bizarre occult world of devilology, black magic, and witchcraft. If you believe, no explanation is necessary.
It's too many words.
Yeah. Eerie, spine tingling, suspenseful to scare the yell out of you.
No.
And then pray for Rosemary's Baby. Conceived in terror, born in fear, and then pray for Rose are fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It looks slow burn, obviously.
I feel a
So
little
was
nauseous.
so was The Shining. It looked beautiful. That trailer actually looked very beautiful.
Yeah.
I was reading an article, a very young millennial, almost Gen Z, who loves old movies. And they
Mhm.
wrote this article saying that while they love today's movies, they have been noticing they watch a lot of physical media like 4K and stuff.
Yeah.
How much better older movies look now than the movies now, because and they talk about 32 millimeter. It's very expensive. That's why they use the digital now. But they said the colors, the angles that were shot, and the movies today do not have that, and they don't. And that's why, like when we watch The Shining,
Yeah.
It looked so beautiful. It looked amazing. And just watching this trailer on my shitty laptop, it's not a shitty laptop, but it's not even processed for
Yeah,
1080p on my TV or anything. It looked gorgeous.
100%.
Yeah, and for
There
1968.
there is an art form to film that I think is slowly and surely being lost.
Yeah.
And it's become too easy and too quick for someone who owns an iPhone to make a movie.
Yeah.
And you can see that there is no longer the same kind of training or apprenticeships. Nobody's teaching the art of it anymore. They're teaching get the shot. Do
Yeah.
it quick, do it digital, be done. The art form itself, like there were times where you could watch a movie and the cinematography is so sweeping and gorgeous and just full that it enhances the movie. What would have been an average movie is now a masterpiece.
Yeah.
You're not getting that anymore.
And
You're
that's why you
getting
get a,
functional shots.
and they actually in this article they blamed a lot of it on it could be fixed in post. It's digital, it could be
Yeah.
fixed in post. And you don't get that same. I think that's why a lot of people when they see a Quentin Tarantino movie, whether you like his movies or not, when you look at a Quentin Tarantino movie like The Hateful Eight, the Once Upon a Time in Beverly in Hollywood, they look amazing. He's still someone that does that. Martin Scorsese still does that. But movies on 32 cost a lot more than just digital movies do.
Well, also
Yeah.
because it's hardly ever used in the industry now.
Yeah.
And that's upped the price and made it even more expensive than it originally was, because it originally was very expensive just to shoot on film.
Yeah. This does look like a slow burn psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it looks, I think I'm gonna like it. It looks great. It's
Yeah.
the acting, a little of the acting sometimes looks a little overacting, but
1960s.
1960s, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I'm really going to like it. I think it's going to creep the fuck out of me. And I think I'm not going to want to watch it for another 30, 40 years. It's fine.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch this movie and be so creeped out that I feel like I need a shower.
All right. Well, we are going to go watch Rosemary's Baby from 1968. And when we come back, we're going to review it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Yay! Welcome back to
Hello.
that. Remember, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back to that Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Did you watch Rosemary's Baby from 19?
I did indeed.
So did I. I almost watched the wrong movie.
Did you really?
Yeah, I sat down to watch Drop Dead Gorgeous, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I feel like a laugh." And then I'm like, "Oh, hold on!" I'm looking at the case, and then I'm like, "Wait a minute!
You're like, this is the wrong one."
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be wanting a laugh. I'm supposed to be wanting to be creeped out. Like, oh fuck, Rosemary. So I had to, yeah. Then I had to rent it because I canceled Paramount Plus.
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I still have Paramount Plus because I watch the Scream movies so often. It makes sense.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
What are
I
your
did not-
initial thoughts?
this movie is so uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable for a lot of different reasons.
So many different, but especially as a woman, like by the end of the movie, I was sitting there and I was like, no joke, the devil is the patriarchy. Fuck.
Yeah, God bless him.
It was a lot.
Well, one, it was the 60s.
Yeah, true. And I mean, but there was so much that I was just like, what? And it started, and there was a feeling in the pit of my stomach, and it stayed there, and it grew through the entire movie. And by the end of it, like, I will tell you what my last note that I wrote on this movie, there was a full chunk of it where I didn't write any notes because I was just watching it like, Jesus fucking H Christ. But my last note was, yo, this movie is so fucked up. That was my actual note that I wrote in my little book. So yes, this movie is so fucked up. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. This movie, it looked great.
Oh, gorgeous.
And the acting was 60s, but it was still very good. It was
For the
written
most
very
part, yeah.
well for the 60s. I mean,
Yeah.
Roman Polanski, the rapey thing put aside, as a talented director.
Honestly, it really pisses me off that the people who do really terrible things have this talent.
Yeah.
It really angers me.
And I believe this was before all that stuff, was it not?
Before it came out.
Oh, even better. Okay. Because I'm still like, because I used to be like, well, fuck that. I'm not, if the guy's a total douche and that's really gross and I'm not going to, but then you think, well, there's more than just the director or whoever, a producer that's a douchebag. It's a lot of people working on it. It's a lot of actors. Mia Farrow was great. That trivia that was up, did you read any of it?
I did read some of it.
That opening music, we'll get to it, but that was Mia Farrow.
I thought that was very unnerving.
And she was, especially at the ending. And then she was about to be, she's Catholic and she almost became a nun, decided not to, and then shortly did this movie. I'm like, well, that's a 180.
Is it though? Is it? Look, Catholicism, we talk about the devil a lot. They're always trying to tell you that the devil is trying to use you as a vessel for his evil. So it's not that far outside of the realm. Also, there's a lot of, ooh, don't be a witch. Whatever. Some of us don't listen to that as closely as other things. But I mean,
well, these witches were bad.
They were terrible.
Bad witches.
Absolutely terrible. These were not the kind of witches that the Catholic Church went after initially and burned at the stake. Those were just women who knew what herbs to pick.
Or if you were like a wife and you weren't doing your job and you were being kind of a bitch, you'd be just like,
true story.
She's a witch.
My wife disobeyed me, therefore
my wife's a witch.
And then they're like, let's test it. Let's tie rocks around her. And if she floats, she's a witch.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, it should have been.
This is what happens when you put men in charge of figuring shit out.
Or stupid men.
I look, I'm just saying the patriarchy has let a lot of very mediocre and very stupid men have big positions of power.
Yeah, he did.
And the world is now showing its ass because of it.
Hey, but
I'm gonna say
that same patriarchy through ups and downs and mistakes, we got Netflix and iPhones. So
which cost how much?
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! Don't get me started. I just paid off not my iPhone, my other phone. It's ridiculous every other year.
It's so fucking ridiculous. And this is why I got, because the last phone that I got with Rogers, this is going to be side note, sidebar rant. I got a very nice Galaxy Flip. I loved that phone, but it was one of the first flips. So it kind of like the creased, it was fine. I loved it though. But I, for some reason, to purchase it, because the easiest and lowest payment plan to get for that phone, you had to give the phone back in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like this deadline.
Yeah. And to buy it out completely is like, oh my God.
It's fucking nuts. I was like, and you want me to pay $50 a month for 2 years for this phone? And then you want it back? Screw you guys. Give me the phone that's $10 a month and that I get to keep forever.
Yeah.
Assholes.
I didn't know there was a sequel. I
I
had no clue. I might have known back in the day.
I didn't know there was a sequel either until I read that on the lower third that went through on the screen. And I was like, there's a or actually I read it in the notes. I was like, there's a sequel? What the? I'm like, good. Does Rosemary go around killing everybody? Because that's the only sequel I want.
Yeah, because I'd never heard of it. At first I'm like, was that The Omen? Like, but no, it's not, obviously. Well, and I'm wondering if it's based on a book by the same author.
Apparently there was also a television miniseries.
Yes, in 2014, aroundish that time, 2017, a miniseries was made. Never saw it.
There is Son of Rosemary is the sequel book.
Oh, there we go. I might have to check that out.
Honestly, I kind of want to read the books. But anyways, I I started seeing previews for the movie Apartment 7A, and there was something that really made me uncomfortable about that movie. And I didn't understand, like, it was just like creepy neighbors, great apartment, dancer who hurts herself, gets pregnant. And I was like, this feels really uncomfortable to me. And then I realized, I was like, oh, it's a prequel to Rosemary's Baby. I'm like, I get it now.
Apparently, the prequel to The Omen is fantastic.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I heard it was amazing. So hopefully this one. Yeah, I'll watch. I'm gonna look for the sequel to this movie, and I watch the prequel to the other movie too.
Oh, sorry. Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby is apparently the sequel.
The sequel, yeah. Look What's Happened to Mary. The book's called something different.
Yeah, the book is called
Son of Rosemary.
Son of Rosemary, I think.
And then they look what happens to looks. Yeah.
Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
And then Son of Rosemary is the sequel novel, which was written in 1997, like 30 years after the original novel.
If you're a millennial and if you're a Gen Z who at this point in time probably will never afford to buy anything and find it hard to rent, this apartment, I looked it up in 1967, the median rent in New York City. That doesn't mean this apartment. This probably was a little bit more, but the median rent, the average was about $365 a month. So you're probably like, at this one was, but I remember the guy said he couldn't raise the price, so it could have been
was a
like
rent controlled
400.
apartment.
Yeah, about that. 365
which is literally the holy grail in New York and in Toronto, really. But especially in New York, because like their rent control was like, hey, this building was built in 1904 and the rent hasn't really gone up since then. Like their rent control is a lot more controlled, which is also how Monica and Rachel were able to live in that ginormous apartment with friends. Thank you, Monica's grandmother. But yeah, no, when they walked into this apartment, like they're showing the building and I'm like, that's a fucking gorgeous building.
Yeah.
And it's a little run down, but you're like, who cares if there's some missing tiles? Let's see what the apartment looks like. They walk into that apartment and I'm like, how the fuck is a stay-at-home wife and an actor who's not working steadily
just doing some commercials recording this? Yeah, that was a nice apartment.
It was fucking gorgeous. And then they fucked it all up by painting everything like white.
Yeah, they made it that
fuckers.
60s.
Oh,
at least they didn't have that weird what is that show? The Brady Bunch, where it was all hip. Like
yeah, no, I appreciate that. But it's the same. I was like, did they paint all the wood white? And then I had like a rage moment, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves in historical homes, or if you have original woodwork and you paint it, you are the devil. So really in this movie, Rosemary is the devil for painting that wood. She painted the fireplace. She painted that beautiful ass fireplace white.
Yeah. All right, let's go over this movie. I didn't even put that together too. There was also that trivia thing where the baby was due in June.
Yeah.
1966, 666. Never even crossed my mind during the movie.
See, but
they kept saying it's 1966 and it's due in June.
Well, June 28th, 1966.
Yeah.
Now I want to do the numerology on that. I don't have the patience for it right now. Let's go.
All right. In 1965, Rosemary Woodhouse and her husband, stage actor Guy, tour the Branford, a large Renaissance revival apartment building in Manhattan. And it was right in Manhattan too. Jesus Christ.
I'm so angry about that. This apartment was gorgeous.
Because when they walked out of that apartment and you saw what was around, or very close by, like there was the I can't remember the names, where they do the Christmas tree lighting, where they do the
Rockefeller Center.
Ed Sullivan show was there.
Yeah,
before.
30 Rock.
Yeah. It's
just, they're in the thick of it.
And it looked a lot cleaner. 1960s. Everything looked a lot cleaner back then.
Well, in those neighborhoods,
just saying. Because you see all the people working, Like they
Yeah.
had 3 guys come in to paint. They had like the people like delivering people. I'm like, oh, what a paradise. What a paradise. Clean, cheap. You can tell I just did at my grocery shop today. A little pissed me.
Yeah, it's always terrible. But I mean, for real estate in New York, it's funny to think about now, but a lot of the neighborhoods used to be in Manhattan. There used to be farms in Manhattan,
Oh yeah,
like actual
like
farms.
like around
Houses
yeah
used to have property.
yeah.
And then they started introducing apartment buildings, like the site where Central Park is before there was a park. It used to have like shanties, and like that's where the homeless lived, and like built little houses, like really low income. And you're like, that wasn't that long ago.
No.
It was like 150 years, 100 years. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Well, 130 years. It's nuts to think about.
Yeah. They noticed the previous tenant, an elderly woman who recently died, displayed odd behaviors. For example, she moved heavy furniture in front of the linen closet she had still been using. Despite warnings from their current landlord and friend, Hutch, about the Bramford's dark past, Rosemary and Guy move in. Yeah, if I would have looked at that apartment, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm moving in here. $300 a month.
Nothing would stop me. Nothing
thing-
would stop me.
It's almost bigger than my house now.
I
This
think it
apartment.
is bigger than my house now. Like,
It's
look, my house was built in 1895 and it's a row house.
Mm.
Where I'm currently in a basement that didn't exist in 1895. I don't even know if it existed in like 1910, because before we just had a hole where they had the furnace. Like there were stairs and then it was a hole and the rest of it was dirt.
Oh,
Basically
okay, yeah,
underneath my
yeah.
house. And then we built it out in the 70s. Yes. When my dad bought it. But I mean, it's like, it's crazy to think that that apartment kept going and going and go. I was like, so many fucking rooms, and they're all huge with really tall ceilings. I love this apartment.
Yeah, and that fireplace it wasn't like The Shining big, but it was a big fire. It wasn't
was
your
a
regular
big-
fireplace. It was
No.
monstrous.
It was
And
ginormous.
every apartment had them.
Yes. It's amazing. You can still find apartments or condos with wood burning fireplaces in Toronto. There aren't that many.
Yeah, not
But
for
there are some that exist.
$365 a month.
No. Oh, fuck no.
I don't even think you get one of those shanty towns or a tent
Oh,
for $365. Where am I? In the basement laundry room, Rosemary meets a young woman, Terry Gianofrio. Yeah. A recovering drug addict whom Minnie and Roman Castevet, the Woodhouses' elderly neighbors, have taken in. The Woodhouses first meet the Castevets when they return home to find Terry dead of an apparent suicide, having jumped from their 7th floor apartment. Yeah, so they move in. Walls are super thin.
Well, the wall in the bedroom is super thin because we learned that that is the wall. Because originally, the Castevets' apartment and Rosemary and Guy's apartment were all one apartment. Then they separated them because this building was apparently built for the super rich people, where the apartments not only had
these apartments were
living,
big.
it also had servants' quarters and servant bathrooms. And
I was gonna say, and they chopped them up into 4s.
Yeah.
Or whatever they did. I'm like,
So,
oh my God, how big are these fucking apartments?
They're fucking ginormous. There is someone I follow on Instagram who will take the floor plans of these original apartments and show you. Because this is when people were moving out of the big, like, Gilded Age mansions and moving into just these really, really nice apartments. And they had like 4 bedrooms for servants.
Yeah.
And a separate servant's bathroom and a separate like entrance for the, like, it's crazy. But anyways, the wall in the bedroom for Rosemary and Guy is the wall that separated the 2 apartments.
Yeah.
From where it was originally one apartment. So it was a thinner wall. So you hear a bunch of shit. And if I was hearing that shit, I'd be like, why are we talking to these old people next door?
Yeah.
But I mean, what else?
Yeah, because someone was playing a recorder. Who the fuck's playing a recorder? I did when I was in grade 5.
Didn't we all?
Yeah. Oh, and then when they first move in, they do it on the floor. Poor guy was having some trouble getting his fucking pants off.
That scene
like, Jesus Christ, dude.
fucking ridiculous. But also, I was like, it's what does she say? Let's make love.
Yeah.
And then he just immediately starts undressing.
Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what'd you eat? Did you have like Chinese food? You're
I have no
rolling
idea.
the dice.
But they're really he just goes to undressing. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
He just
he's
starts
like,
taking off his shirt.
Don't have to tell me twice.
She almost looks reluctant in her undressing.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl,
Yeah.
why are you married to this man? He don't want you.
He's acting a little needy.
And that was my first clue that I did not realize was a clue until much later in the movie, where I was like, oh, now it makes sense. But also, yes, he was having a lot of trouble taking off his pants.
Yeah.
Like, sir, why don't you just stand up and take off your pants? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. The Woodhouses have dinner at the Castavet's apartment the following evening, but Rosemary finds them meddlesome. She's bothered when Minnie offers her Terry's pendant as a good luck charm, claiming it contains tannis root. So when she met Tina in the laundry, she showed her this thing, that the lucky charm that she gave them. They noticed had a weird smell.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't that night, just before she committed suicide, or the night she did commit suicide, didn't they hear like the chanting and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been it for me. I'd be like, all right, that sounds Satan. It's like Satan to me. We're out.
It's funny though, because she tries to get Guy. It's like, Guy, can you hear that? And he doesn't respond. So then she thinks she's just hearing things, like it's not a big deal, or it's not as loud as she thinks it is.
Started banging on the wall. Hey, Satanists, fucking keep it down. Keep your fucking sacrifices down. I'm trying to sleep. Pieces of shit.
I don't think
Satanists
do sacrifices anymore. I don't think they actually do, like, actual Church of Satan people. I don't think they do Satan.
Everyone half-asses things now.
I know.
Really
well, I mean,
the work and effort.
Look, if you were a faux Satanist from the 80s, you sacrifice the crap out of every neighborhood animal.
Yeah.
But I think actual Satanists don't do sacrifices.
It's not a bad PR when you start sacrificing
true
people.
True story. Nobody wants to join your church if you're just like pulling people up and killing them.
Bunch of virgins start showing up dead. You're the first person that people they're looking at. Oh, great. Another virgin's dead. I wonder who they're going to fucking point the finger at.
Oh, God.
Unexpectedly, Guy, initially reluctant to socialize with the Casavets, becomes seemingly fascinated with Roman, visiting him repeatedly. Yeah, we get to know why later on. And I will say this. This movie, I'm not going to say cleverly, but it allows you to follow along. Way too many times you watch a movie and they show you everything at the end. You're like, oh, that's why. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
You piece this movie together with the movie, with Rosemary. Well, probably a little faster than Rosemary, but
so much faster than Rosemary.
You actually, it gives you all the clues, not right in your face, but enough that you're going,
well, it'll give you a piece of the puzzle, but you'll have no idea where it goes. But you're like, that's weird.
That's weird.
That makes me uncomfortable, and I don't know why.
And then you're like,
eventually all the pieces start to stick together. And by the time you get to the end of the movie,
you're
like, it all makes sense now. Because initially Guy is very much like, ugh, do we have to? And she's like, it'll be nice. Let's be nice to the old people. They just lost Terry. Like, let's be nice. So they go over, and I'm like, okay, first of all, when she was trying to cut that steak, I was like, the fuck did they do to that steak that she can't even cut it? Also, she was using the wrong kind of knife, but whatever.
Yeah. Using a butter knife.
I was like, that looks like a fish knife, my friend. What? Anyways, and then him eating, it was the way they were eating at the table.
Yeah.
Like, you see Rosemary eating, and then like Guy and Minnie, and you don't really see Roman when he's eating, but Guy and Minnie are like shoveling the food in there. And I'm like, that's odd. That's really odd. But I'm like, oh, okay. And eventually you start feeling, and then all of a sudden, Guy and Roman are besties.
Yeah.
And Roman just wants to hang out with them all the time.
Yeah. And if you're making a movie, you guys, if someone out there is listening to this and you're making a movie, don't make it and you don't give any clues and then go, aha, look, how smart am I? How clever am I? It's not clever. It's being a douche.
No, we all get really fucking annoyed at that.
What's her name? Who did the Death on the Nile, the Orient Express?
Agatha Christie.
She does that. where she gives decent enough clues that let
Oh,
you help
100%.
follow along. Yeah.
Agatha Christie is one of the greatest mystery writers of all time for
And
very,
that's
very
why,
good
because
reason.
she's not holding it all back and dumping you at
No,
your beginning. She's letting you
she
follow it
peppers it
along.
in. She
Yeah.
peppers it in. So the people who usually know halfway through the book, there are very few of her books where I'm like, I have no idea who did it. But that's also my like secret superpower. I can always tell who the murderer is. But she gives you enough information and then she pieces it all together at the end.
Yeah.
And you realize, shit, she did give me all of that information. I just didn't pick up on it. So you kind of feel like an idiot because you're like, oh, I wasn't smart enough. But at the end, you're like, but you gave me all the clues. I just didn't put them together. But yeah, she's really good at that. And that's really good storytelling. It's really good filmmaking.
Yeah. What was that? The Sixth Sense.
The
When you
Sixth
first
Sense.
watch it, you're like, he's fucking dead. And then it goes through it and shows you everything that
Yeah.
happened. And you're like, oh, that makes sense.
And then you're like, I'm a fucking moron. I should have seen that.
I'm so stupid.
Literally.
And then you lie. I knew it right halfway through the movie.
No, the first time I saw The Sixth Sense, I had no idea.
Not
I
a
had
clue.
no idea until
Nothing.
the end. And then I was like, what? I was also exceptionally hungover. And I was laying on the couch watching this movie. And then the end comes and I'm like, what? And then I was like, we need to rewatch it right now.
Yeah. How did I miss all that?
How did I miss everything? And I was like, oh, it's The Hangover. No, it wasn't. It's just moron. It's fine.
Guy is cast in a prominent play after the lead actor inexplicably goes blind. With his career flourishing, Guy wants him and Rosemary to procreate. On the night that they plan to conceive, Minnie brings over individual cups of chocolate mousse. The character Minnie calls it mouse, chocolate mouse. For their dessert. When Rosemary complains that it has a chalky undertaste, Guy angrily brands her as ungrateful. Rosemary consumes a bit more to mollify Guy, then discreetly discards the rest. Probably shouldn't have done that. Hindsight. Soon after, she grows dizzy and passes out. In a dream state, Rosemary hallucinates being raped by a demonic presence. The next morning, Guy explains the scratches covering her body by claiming that he did not want to miss baby night. I'm like, what the fuck? The 60s were different.
Well, she had her little calendar and she's like, these are the best days because I'm ovulating. Cool. Although she didn't say ovulating because I don't think they were allowed to say it back in the day. Excuse me. So she gets super dizzy.
Yeah.
Kind of unconscious. He's like, hey, we can do it whenever. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry we missed baby day. Well, we've still got tomorrow. And he's like, yeah, no worries. And then all of a sudden, it's not no worries.
No.
And he's all like,
strapped.
It's fine.
Yeah, strapped to the bed. Mia Farrow, very sexy naked. Didn't like the way it was portrayed.
I got into it.
I thank the cinematographer, the lighting guys, and the director for blocking out those old people. They were obviously completely naked and shadowed. Thank you very much. That I did not want to see.
I wrote a note. Oh God, where is it? That's like, a lot of naked old people.
Yeah, please don't turn on the lights.
And all of it was like, this was an incredibly creepy scene.
Oh,
and sequence. Like all of it was just very like, I was like, man, that's really fucked up. And I felt it deep in my soul. Also, at one point, because Guy is talking about the night before, this is the morning after, and she's like, I was unconscious.
Yeah.
And
I didn't want to
like,
baby night.
He's like, I didn't want to miss baby night. It was fun. It was kind of fun in a necrophile kind of way. Yeah. I literally wrote that shit down. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You gross ass motherfucker. And that was the point where I was like, this, and she's just like, oh, okay, I guess. And I was like, what?
Yeah, crazy 60s.
Yeah.
Because he's like, it's kind of fun. Kind of like you're dead. And
it was kind of like I was fucking you when you're dead, you know. Yeah. Super good times. Excuse me?
Like, wow.
And then she just kind of like logics it away.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm like, is this what they teach you in Omaha? Like, I don't understand what's happening here.
Where are we here? Yeah. Okay. So old people. I didn't get to see any of them. I'm so grateful. That would have been
I
even
saw
more.
some.
Well, yeah,
I was also wearing my glasses when I watched it, so everything was in sharper image. So I was like, that's a nipple. Them's be boobies.
Yeah, on her or the other people?
On the other people.
On the people. Yeah, because it was it wasn't right out there, and
yeah. It was subtle. It wasn't just like gross nudity. And when I say gross, I mean as in a lot of nudity, not in icky nudity kind of way.
Yeah, so he says she simply did not remember them having sex, having passed out from exhaustion, and he stated he had since cut his nails and apologized. Not for, the having sex when she was passed out, for having long fingers,
for
scratching
having
her.
long and scratching her. Yeah. Because that's where the issue lies.
Yeah. That's the takeaway.
That's the take. Hey, so you kind of felt like a dead person when I fucked you last night. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But my bad. I scratched you a little bit. So I trimmed my nails. Don't worry. It won't happen again. The next time you're unconscious and I fuck you, it'll be fine. I won't scratch you. Fuck this movie. I felt sick during that. I just 100%. I want to be clear on that entire thing made me feel so sick.
And I think obviously that was the point. It was supposed to make you, the music, the old geriatric standing around buck naked. It was supposed to be very uncomfortable. The demon, Satan,
the talking to her while something's on a pillow or a sheet is on top of her face.
Yeah.
And the dialogue I was like, oh my God, this entire thing is, it was very, I gagged a little.
Rosemary becomes pregnant with the baby due on June 28th. The elated Cassavetes insist that Rosemary go to their close friend, Dr. Abraham Saperstein, a prominent obstetrician, rather than her own physician, Dr. Hill. During her first trimester, Rosemary suffers severe abdominal pains and loses a considerable amount of weight. Because they're her friend Hutch is you're supposed to gain weight, not lose weight, and you look like shit.
Look, we all need a Hutch in our life.
Yeah.
Because literally he shows up.
Calls it like he sees it.
I haven't talked to you in forever. You look skinny and sick.
Yeah,
what
you
the
look
fuck's wrong with you?
By Christmas, her gaunt appearance alarms her friends as well as Hutch, who has been researching the Branford's history. Yeah, so she decides to have a party because she's not really she's not feeling well. She decides to have a party with all of her friends who are much younger.
Also, because this also gave me a moment where I was like, what the fuck? So she goes to the new doctor. Her old doctor had said, oh, I'm just going to give you some prenatal vitamins or some natal vitamins. That's all you really need to do right now. She goes to the new doctor. The new doctor's like, no, don't do natal vitamins. Those are no good. Your neighbor has an herbarium, I think he said, or borium. So she'll make you a drink every day.
Mm-hmm.
And this fool drinks this drink without knowing what's in it.
Yeah.
She wasn't wearing, because the tannis root is a running theme in this, and then you eventually find out what it is. It is also actually a fictional root. I did look it up.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
The author made it up for the book.
Yeah, and I'm like, God bless, because now we don't have people trying to convince other people to do things with this random root.
Don't get too excited, Satanists. There's no such thing as a tannis root.
Don't get too excited, evangelicals. Do you think they wouldn't use it? Basically anybody who's looking for power. So basically just the Rastafarians are good. They're like, nah, man, it's okay. We're just gonna stay here, eat our vegetarian food. Anyways, so she's drinking this mystery drink every day that her neighbor brings over for her. She has this never-ending pain that the doctor just keeps saying it'll pass eventually.
It's a couple days.
Couple days, it'll stop. It's
4 months later.
Yeah, in pain for this long, and it takes her that long to be like, I'm gonna get a second opinion.
Yeah, I would have been the third day.
For reals. If my doctor said it's going to be gone in a couple days and it wasn't, I'd be taking my ass to a hospital.
Yeah.
But yeah, she looks gaunt. The makeup that they did on her was a little extra, but it definitely made her look sick and pale. And
I think that's why they did, because I agreed with Guy. Probably one of the only times I agreed with Guy. the haircut. And I think they did that to make her look a lot skinnier, and that makeup helped because it wasn't a great haircut.
No, it was okay.
Maybe not with that makeup.
This. Not with that makeup. It helps her look very sickly. But if she had her regular coloring, because she had that hair for years, she looked adorable. She has the kind of face that can carry off that kind of like haircut. But still, I'm like, although I love that she said Vidal Sassoon like 6 times.
Yeah, they obviously sponsored.
100%. He got a credit.
Before Hutch can share his findings with Rosemary, he falls into a mysterious coma. And this is one of the things I was talking about when Hutch was leaving. He wanted his coat, and then he only had one glove, and he was like, is there another glove down there? And they're like, oh, no. And then you put that together where, they needed a piece of personal.
But also, if you mention like the original owner or the original renter of the apartment, the 89-year-old woman, they were like, oh, she was in a coma one day and stayed that way. There was nothing really wrong with her. And you're like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Nobody just falls into a coma randomly.
Yeah, she just fell into a coma. Well, yeah, she did. So did Hutch.
Yeah.
Just fell into a coma.
But then they mentioned
walking along the street, and then poof.
They mentioned that. Then there's the actor who randomly went blind.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's super fucking weird. Like, he just woke up blind. Odd. And then it's, Hutch is in a coma. Like, I just went by and he was in a coma. So now he's in the hospital. And you're like, that's the second coma.
Those Satanists are rascals. Rosemary, unable to withstand the pain, insists on seeing Hill, while Guy argues against it, perceiving Saperstein will be offended. Yeah, he'll be offended.
I don't care if you're in pain.
I don't give a shit.
I don't care that you're losing weight still.
Yeah.
Like 4 months into, I don't care that you're in pain every day. I don't care that we don't want to offend Saperstein's delicate sensibilities.
Yeah.
And this woman stayed with this motherfucker.
As they argue, the pain suddenly stops and Rosemary feels the baby move for the first time. 3 months later, Hutch's friend, Grace Cardiff, informs Rosemary about his death. Prior to passing away, he briefly regained consciousness and instructed to give Rosemary a book on witchcraft. All of them witches. Along with the cryptic message, the name is an anagram. Using Scrabble tiles, Rosemary works out that Roman Castavit is an anagram for Steve Marcato, the son of former Brantford resident and reputed Satanist. Using the Scrabble. Yeah.
Well, that was another thing. They played Scrabble earlier on.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was established that was something.
Yep.
She was very comfortable with.
She suspects the Cavitz and Saperstein belong to a coven and want her baby. Guy discounts this and later throws the book away, making Rosemary suspicious. Yeah, it took a lot for her to. Like I was suspicious about 30 minutes before this. I'd be like, I'm out.
I was suspicious like literally 10 minutes into the movie where like she's like, let's make love. And he doesn't say anything and like waits for her to approach. I'm like, girl, why are you married to this man? He don't want you.
Or the girl that seemed fine just suddenly committed suicide by throwing herself out the window. Yeah.
Not wearing her good luck necklace.
Terrified, she goes to Hill for help, but Hill deduces she is hysterical and calls Saperstein. I do not blame Charles Grodin because she comes across as a lunatic.
Look, she does. 100%.
I would have called too. Like, it's crazy.
You know who I would have called? Office. I would have called the psychiatric hospital and had her committed.
Yes. Yeah.
That would not the doctor that she has said
is afraid of.
That she's afraid of. Not the husband that she's afraid of. No. I wouldn't be calling them.
Yeah. This person's hysterical. So what I'm going to do is call the people that she's hysterical about.
Yeah. Solid like logic right there.
Yeah.
Solid logic.
He arrives with Guy to drive her home, and the pair threaten to commit her to a psychiatric hospital if she does not comply. Yeah, I would have just, okay. Send me away.
Like, cool, put me in. Put me in, coach. I'm good.
Rosemary locks herself into the apartment. Somehow coven members infiltrate it. Yeah, they were already there. They did that kind of fucking little
no, but you also you
hallway.
learn that they do have access
to the house. There
to the
are
house,
doors.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like you see them tiptoe behind her, so she thinks she's safe, but she's
Yeah. And Saperstein sedates Rosemary, who goes into labor and gives birth. When Rosemary awakens, she is informed the baby was stillborn. As she recovers, though, she notices her pumped breast milk is being saved rather than discarded. Yes, as the one girl, she's like, "What are you doing with my breast milk?" She goes, "Just throwing it out." So she puts the spoon.
Yeah.
And she's like,
into
"Oh,
the
don't do
measuring
that." And then
Yeah.
she's like, "Why?"
It
It's
makes it
dirty or
dirtier.
something. What'd she say? Yeah.
And it's like, what? And also, it was really interesting to see what a breast pump looked like in the
Back in the
1960s.
60s? Yeah. She stops taking her prescribed pills, becoming less groggy. When Rosemary hears an infant crying, Guy claims tenants with a newborn have moved in upstairs. Believing her baby's alive, Rosemary discovers a hidden door in the linen closet. This is how they got into her when she locked the door. Leading directly to the Cavas apartment, the same closet the previous tenant had blocked, and the same hidden door the Coven members had used to access the Woodhouse's apartment. Guy and Casavitz, Saperstein, and other Coven members are gathered around the bassinet draped in black with an upside-down cross hanging over it. Yeah, they're all just having like
a cocktail party.
And only the one is surprised.
I know what they're seeing. It's a sip and see. A sip and see. It's a thing that people do after they've given birth.
Oh,
it's like
right,
maybe
yeah.
a month or two afterwards. You invite everybody over. You have a few drinks. People see the baby, and you're like, cool. So basically, the Satanists threw a sip and see.
Yeah.
For the devil baby.
Peering inside, Rosemary is horrified and demands to know what is wrong with her baby's eyes. Roman proclaims that the child, Adrian, is the son of Satan and a supposed Antichrist who inherited his father's eyes. Roman urges Rosemary to mother the child, promising she does not have to join the coven and that Adrian will spare her life in the future. When Guy attempts to calm her, assuring they will be rewarded and can conceive their own children, she spits in his face. Yeah, he was like, he kind of laid it all out there. Like, yeah, they let Satan have sex with you and have his baby, and I get to go to Hollywood.
We're gonna move to LA.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna have a pool.
So much work, and there's gonna be a pool, and it'll be nice every day, and then we can have our own kids. The fuck you say? And then she spits in his face. She didn't actually say the fuck you say, although she should have.
Yeah.
But yeah, she spits in his face, and then he's just kind of like, yeah, I tried, and walks away and like wipes off his face.
Upon hearing the infant cries, however, Rosemary agrees. The film closes with Rosemary gently rocking Adrian's cradle and that creepy ass music playing.
It was kind of the way it happened because she just kind of stands up because Laura Louise, I think that's her character name.
Rocking, yeah, and she was rocking
violently
a little hard. Like, Jesus Christ, you're gonna give the kid a fucking
shaken baby syndrome, right?
Yeah,
there.
that's it.
I was
Yeah.
like, that's really like that's some hardcore girl.
Yeah, that was aggressive.
And Rosemary, I guess motherly instincts kicked in. I don't think I have those kind of instincts.
But they said, like, look at his claws, look at the hooves.
Did you see the hooves? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh fuck. Anyways, so you're rocking too hard. You're rocking too hard.
Yeah.
You're rocking too hard. And then I think it's Roman who's standing next to the crib, and he's
Let
like,
her
let her do it. You can be a mother to him.
Yeah.
For
some reason, I thought she stabbed it. I don't know why I thought.
Well, because she walks into the room with a knife
yeah.
raised, and even when she goes to see the baby the first time, she's still holding the knife.
They don't seem too concerned.
No, they're all like, yeah,
good luck.
Okay. She takes a few steps back after she sees the baby in shock and horror, and she drops the knife, and it kind of sticks in the.
Oh, and Minnie gets
floor.
pissed off because
Yeah.
it made a nick in the floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's very concerned with her floors. Her husband dropped some cocktail liquid
on the carpet.
Brand's making you carpet, and I'm like, girl, you're trying to bring the son of the devil into the world. Calm down. You can get a carpet cleaner.
And that is our movie. What's your score? Okay, well here, let me okay, go ahead. What's your score?
Okay, so my score is a solid rent it. And here's why. The devil thing is not the most disturbing thing in this movie.
No.
The devil is not, it's the people.
Yeah, the people are kind of fucked.
The people are so fucked. And from beginning to end, I had this like tightness in my stomach and in my chest where I'm just like, oh, this is not okay. And there were moments of nausea and there were moments where I actually physically gagged because I'm like, oh God. And there were, by the end of it, I was feeling nauseous and I was like, that is a fucked up movie. But it's not because of the devil. The devil doesn't play a big part in it.
No.
It's the people. The people are what's scary and creepy and gross in this movie. And let me tell you, they really ramp it up. Like they want to make you so just grossed out with people that by the end of it, you're like, oh, I hate everybody. Beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm.
Very well directed. Great cinematography. Costumes were fantastic. The sets were amazing. Beautiful movie. Be ready for 2 hours of discomfort. But I also think it's a really good movie to watch at least once. Do I think this would be in anybody's repeat watch rotation? No, not unless you're doing your thesis on this in university or working towards your PhD and Rosemary's Baby is your subject. Because this movie is just, there's so much that's just so gross and uncomfortable and icky about it. But it achieves its goal. It wants you to feel gross and uncomfortable and icky. And it does it really well. So I think everybody should watch it once. And also at the end of it, feel free to donate whatever the rental price is to, you know, a charity that helps women in unfortunate situations in your community to make up for watching a movie that Roman Polanski did.
Yeah. Yeah. With the
What's
devil.
your rating?
Yeah, I agree. This, if you remember, like in Rosemary's Baby, it is shot very well. It is acted very well. It looks very well. The cinematography is great. The score, the musical score is great. There is a few musical where it's the 1960s groovy jazz beatnik music that kind of is really dates the movie.
Yeah.
It feels weird, but that was popular at the time. Yeah, the devil is not the scariest person in this movie. This movie is also the definition of slow burn.
Oh, yeah.
But what it does is it does take you along for the ride with Rosemary. It does give you tons of clues, and it is a very unsettling ending. But it's a very well done movie. If I was to score the movie out of 10, I would probably give this movie a 7. It's easy,
Okay.
7 out of 10. But just because a movie is a 7 doesn't mean I'm going to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd give Friday 13th movies 5s and 6s, and I'll watch the shit out of them because they're bad, so bad they're good type thing.
Jason X gets it too, and I'll watch it every day, all day. Love that movie.
Yeah, like Leprechaun. What do we give it? 3?
Yeah.
Out of
I'd
10
watch
or, yeah, I'd watch that again. Yeah, this is not a movie I could watch over and over and over, but it is a very good movie. For all those reasons, the acting, the cinematography, directing, the music. And yeah, I agree. It's worth a rental.
Yeah.
I would not buy the movie. Even if the movie was the cost of the rental, I might do it, but it would sit there for a very long time before I watch this movie again. Would I watch this movie again? Maybe down the road, way down the road.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it is a good movie. Very well done. Very well acted. But it's not worth repeat viewing. So if you remember liking it, you're probably going to like it again. It's just not, it's not a fun movie.
No.
It's not a fun movie. It's a good movie. And it's not a fun movie that you want to rewatch over and over again. So I would, it's worth a rental.
100%.
Even if you haven't seen it, it's worth a rental. It's very well, like the slow burn is well done.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just,
it's a
I wouldn't buy it.
thinker.
Yeah.
It's a thinker. Yeah. The only reason I'd buy it is if I could buy a physical copy that I could lend out to people.
Yeah.
For them to watch it.
And yeah, if it was cheap enough and it had a lot of making ofs or like that type of stuff, maybe. But yeah, it's worth a rental. But yeah, I'm not going to watch this anytime again soon.
No,
but it was a good movie.
Another like 25, 30 years before I watch it again.
Yeah. And then
it's terrible.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So far so good. We watched another movie that we liked. Yeah.
It's freaking like, when is this going to end? This streak that we have.
It would be awesome if it went right to the end of 2025, and
that
every
would be
movie we watch was decent.
Yeah,
like, we haven't had a movie that we haven't liked yet.
That's very true. I'm kind of impressed with us.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so that's it. If you're watching on YouTube, join us next week where we are going back to the 90s, 1999, to watch Drop Dead Gorgeous. But yeah, anything you want to add to Rosemary's Baby?
I just want to point out that even though it is kind of an allegory or like a parable kind of for a lot of different things that weren't necessarily planned, while I was watching it, I was like, wow, this really does speak to the patriarchy and how it kind of keeps women locked in, and the roles. Like, if you watch it thinking the devil is the patriarchy, this movie is a modern day feminist tale.
Yeah. And by that, we mean like everything was cleaner, more wholesome. Well, Satan is set aside.
I mean, other than Satan. Well, no, because then you see like Satan, he is the power of the patriarchy. This is a whole like dissertation. And then any film students who want to take this, by all means. Rosemary is someone who's been raised in the patriarchy, who just follows along and feels trapped, and how they use motherhood and how they use marriage to kind of box women into a specific role. And then the other women who are part of like the coven, they're doing harm to a woman and possibly even a baby with hooves, whatever, in order to gain proximity to the power of the men and the patriarchy and the devil. So anyways, if anybody wants to write a dissertation on that, there's your topic. Enjoy yourself.
And for me, don't be afraid of the patriarchy. It's fine. If you do have Satanists in your neighborhood,
honestly, I take the Satanists over patriarchy any day. 100%. Have you met any Satanists? They're like the nicest people.
Because they want to lure you in and then kill you. It's sacrifice you.
None of them have ever tried to get me into their car. Can't say the same for Christians or married men. I'm just saying.
All right. Thanks for coming back to the 60s, 1968. I'm going over Rosemary's Baby with us. And until the next movie we remember liking.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.